Welcome to Range Time. I'm your host Ghost, and today I'm going to be showing you what I've been working on for getting like a faster draw for shot time, and working on doubles, things like that. So essentially from the holster, working to get that out of there faster. So with that, let's get started. We're out here on the Ranger Light. We've got our targets set at 7 yards. You can put them at 10, you can put them at 5, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm just working more on assessing speed and things like that. So I showed in a previous video the ability to work your way backwards for deconstructing your draw and figuring out where you have the most opportunity to make up speed. And so we're going to be covering that today as a sole topic, right? As well as working on doubles and splits of those types of nature. So for those of you who are looking to get a faster draw, I'm not the fastest. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a real life draw under a second for anything for me. So there are definitely people out there who are probably faster than me, but I think the training method and mechanisms that I have formed over the years have helped a lot of people surpass me. So it might be something you can try, see if it works for you. At least it'll be eye-opening to see, like, oh, I'm not just slow to the beep, or I'm not just slow to the gun. It might be some other aspect of what you've got going on and give you an area to focus on, right? So that's kind of the idea here. To start, the easy thing we can do is just see our reaction time. So the firearm's presented out to the target, aiming wherever the hell you want. I'm going to aim at the white paster, and shooting included today, so you're not going to actually see where I'm hitting until we look at the hits afterwards. It's a great training aid. I've been shooting it more here in Ace VR. It's helped me out a lot with my my live fire, so I'm going to continue to use it here in Ace. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll place on the white paster, and what we're going to do is hit the go button. So the timer, you can see down here, when we hit the go button, it has a 3-second countdown. Then it starts going, and then as soon as we shoot, it'll record our time. So what we're going to do is, just when we're pressed out here, we're going to see how quickly we respond to the beep. It looks a little something like this. So we press the go button. Alright, so we're taking everything else out of it. You don't even really have to be aiming, to be honest. You could be shooting into the berm in live fire if you want. That way you're not focusing on anything. You're just focusing on hearing the beep and taking a shot. But here in Ace, it's a little less expensive. So we look down. That was a 0.26 response time. So on the pack timers, the beep is a 0.4 second beep, so I'm actually responding faster than the overall beep length, which is good. It's what we want. So we'll do that a couple more times. That was a little slower, 0.27. That one was a 0.004, a little anticipation there, so let's not cheat ourselves here. All right, 0.30. So realistically, I'm anywhere from like a quarter of a second to 0.40 until the end of the beep. So am I slow to respond to a stimulus? The average is around a 0.3. I'd say I'm right around average, so not really where I would seek to gain my the most that I can. So we'll go ahead and press and hold the A button. We'll reset our targets there. The targets are clean. And we're going to work now from like a position of the pistol's coming up, right? So it's come out of the holster, so we'll look down at it. It's come out of the holster, it's starting to level out, and I've got both hands on the gun, and I've got my master grip, the grip that I want when I punch out and get on target. So the pistol's already been presented, essentially, and we're just driving it to the target. So what kind of time it takes to get it on target and settle that dot, right? And what I think is my problem is I drive the gun very hard and I tense up, and what that causes, and you'll see it here, is the dot to kind of shake around, right? It'll eventually land where it needs to go, but I don't have the brakes good enough to get it to where every time I present that it's on target. So I think that's where most of my area for opportunity for improving is just settling the dot faster. I'm wasting 0.3 to 0.4 of a second in doing that. So we'll see if that's the case here. We'll go ahead and start again with our grip established, and present out to the target, and we'll see how fast that goes for a couple of rounds. Okay, so that was a 1 second. So right there, that's telling me 0.7 seconds to just bring presentation, settle the dot, and break the shot. Good that I'm not abusing the trigger in a way so as to disturb my sights. That's a pretty good hit. So I don't think that that's my issue. I think it's really just the time to bring it up and settle the dot where I want it to be to press the shot. So same thing. We'll go ahead and do that a few more times, trying to get it under a second. Okay. 1.02. And a 0.90. So yeah, there's some meat on those bones, I think, for me, that we can work towards settling the pistol as it comes up, kind of applying the brakes 80% of the way up, so that way my dot is landing precisely where I want it to every time. Just something that I need to work on. The next step in this progression is going to be from the holster, but your dominant firing hand has established its grip on the gun. So it's like you've already gripped the pistol, and your non-dominant hand is prepared to receive. Your not shooting your support hand is prepared to receive the pistol. So same kind of thing. We will look down here. It's in the holster, and it's going to come out. It's going to join up with my support hand. It's going to go up to the target, and we're going to break shot. So same thing. We're really more seeing what the difference is. We were around a 1 second time from just the low, both hands on the gun. Now we're going to see what the difference is between having the firing hand on the gun and the support hand joining it after pulling it out of the holster. Yeah, we can definitely see the dot kind of rapidly going to the left, to the right, and coming back in. 139 though, so coming out of the holster added a whole 0.4 seconds roughly. Not a lot there. So we'll go ahead and give that another go. Yep. 1.37. Yep. Okay, 1.46. So right there we're seeing roughly, that one was a grip issue, but roughly 0.3, 0.4 to get it from the holster, join the grip together, present out on the target. So not too bad, I would say. So right there, I can tell my reaction time of a 0.3 roughly, my presentation time of a 0.4 roughly. I've got 0.7 right there. Yeah. So I've got 0.3 of a second left to get under a second to settle the dot. That's pretty quick. Now we're going to actually incorporate hands below belt. And I don't do the scoop draw where you come up under the pistol and scoop it out to presentation. I actually do the snatch draw where you come up over the top of the gun, jam the part of your webby part of your thumb, kind of in the high part of the back strap on the pistol. Establish that grip that you're gonna get for the rest of the stage or the drill, and then bring the gun out. So we're going to do that from hands below belt, and we'll see what that looks like. We'll reset the target too, just clean that up. And we'll just do a normal draw. Yeah, definitely chasing the dot around, grip getting all messed up, that indexing, bringing that out. Wasted some time there, 1.63. Do that again. Bouncing all around, but good hit, 1.66. Good hit, 1.61. And that's kind of where I am in live fire as well, is right around that 1.6 first shot at this type of target with that type of accuracy. I don't consider that I'm over-confirming the dot. I consider it, for me, that I'm settling the dot. Like, it's running around like this angry red bee. And I really want the dot to be settled to have a high degree of confidence that my shot's going to go where I want it to go, right? So I'm calling my shot through how it feels, how it looks, how I felt when I pressed the trigger, things like that. Because what that then feeds into is doubles. So I forget who it was, but someone was talking about having to see the dot every time to take a shot and all these things. No, I'm sorry. There's high accountability shooting where you do need that type of accuracy and ensuring that your sight system is like that. And then there's opportunities where no, you're really just re-indexing off of like a double, right? Because otherwise you're just too slow. Your brain doesn't process what you need to see fast enough to be able to pull that trigger again. So it's a principle. Some people talk about it in great detail and much better than I do, but it's like a return to zero or return to index. But essentially, the principle behind it is when I'm up here and I'm presenting on target and I let a shot go, the idea is that my pistol should return to the point where I'm aiming, based on my body mechanics, based on how I grip the gun, based on the rise and fall of the muzzle. All of those things coming into play, but the idea is that it's going to return to where I'm aiming prior to that second shot. So when I pull a double, it's going to impact essentially right where I was aiming anyway. Because otherwise your splits aren't going to be less than 0.2. They're going to be 0.3, 0.4, which if that's where you're at in skill set, that's fine. Or if that's what the target demands. So again, there's a time and place for these things. But anybody who deals in absolutes is kind of lying to themselves and lying to you. There's definitely situations where the opportunity presents itself to do rapid fire where I'm not seeing much of that second shot other than the dots kind of falling back into the window, and I know based on how I'm gripping the gun that that's going to be a good hit. Right. So something you can practice here in Ace, something you can also practice in live fire, is going to be that doubles follow up. And in Ace it's a little easier because obviously no recoil, but if we're just sitting here and doing doubles drills, if I start seeing that my split time right there was a 0.16, if I start seeing that my split time is elevating, it's going like that quarter of a second, that 0.3 of a second, does the target require that level of confirmation? Or is it something where, with relative ease, I can get hits on those, and we could check those, but the timer's been going. We could actually let's just do it. So we'll reset. And we'll just do target 2 and target 4, and we'll just do a transition across them, and we'll break down the splits and what I'm seeing for confirmation to be able to guarantee A-zone hits or 80% A-zone hits. So we'll just start from low ready for the principal. Okay. We can see that my split times, we'll go through those, were all under 0.2. So the first hit was a 0.96 for selling the gun, 0.17 for a follow-up. The transition's going to be longer because I had to see the dot. When I'm looking at the target, I'm seeing the dot come into the target, not trying to overdrive it. 0.49, so a little slow on that transition. Could be a little faster for how close these targets are for me. And then 0.14 split. So again, I'm not seeing that dot, nice and pretty like I am right now, and going press, 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 press. I'm seeing a singular dot where I know that that's going to be a good hit, and I know because of my grip, my body mechanics, the target distance and difficulty, that I'm going to have a high rate of success of getting that second shot to appear essentially right next to my first shot. So just something for you to try in dry fire and live fire. You can just come up and just shoot doubles, right? And see what your grouping looks like and what your time looks like. So we'll do that for a couple of sets. How I would do this in live fire is the same as how I'm doing it here in Ace. Like I said, in Ace it has less value, but you can still practice it in here if you like. So we'll go ahead and start the shot timer. And I would do that for 5, 6 reps, whatever felt good. And just see what my pattern looked like. Are they tight, like the size of my fist at 7 yards? If so, that's good for me. And I would look through my splits. 0.18, 0.17, 0.16, 0.20, that's getting a little sloppy for me. But you can easily speed up your splits by doing that, but not at the cost of your accuracy. If that group was opening up, let's say, kind of like that and having bigger than my hand, I know that my splits for that target distance, that difficulty of that target is probably outrunning my abilities, right? So that's just something that you can try there. But try out working your way back, backwards deconstruction, I guess, of the draw to speed up your draws. That's something that I'm working on. And then try the doubles drills where you're literally just pointing at the target, hitting the timer, and looking at your splits and seeing what you can get away with, because both of those are going to shave off, for a lot of folks, tenths of seconds, right? And we're not even getting into the hard stuff like movement and things like that. Like movement is really where you're going to gain a ton of time, but that's what I consider the hard part of the sport. Shooting's easy. When you get shooting to be almost like the afterthought, like, oh, I see a target and I shoot it, I think the hard part then becomes movement and efficiency of how you're getting around and how you're doing things, not necessarily pointing and shooting at a target. That then becomes second nature. So that's kind of what I've been working on, making that all second nature, so I can free up my brain power for the hard things that I need to do when I'm doing competition shooting. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time on Range Time.